Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And in an interview just a little bit ago, President Trump, John, came out and he said that we will de-escalate a little bit when it comes to Minneapolis, putting Tom Homan there and saying he's meeting with everybody and let's see where this goes. But it clearly shows that the president is focused on this big issue and the issue of immigration. And joining us now is Congressman Mike Lawler from the great state of New York. He did a big op-ed. Everybody's talking about it today in the New York Times. And it says, GOP Congressman, we need to wake up after Minneapolis. Congressman Lawler, what's your message?
Well, thanks for having me, Rita. Look, we have to recognize how we got here. And how we got here was a result of Joe Biden's disastrous border policies that allowed over 10.5 million migrants to come into the country. President Trump ran on addressing the crisis at our border, ran on deporting criminal aliens, and the vast majority of Americans agreed with him. And he has done a phenomenal job in closing the border. We have net zero illegal immigration flowing into the country as a result. I think the vast majority of Americans agree with what the administration has done to deport criminal aliens. And the challenge that you see in cities like New York or Minneapolis stems from the fact that illegal, sanctuary city policies have created a mess, and you have local law enforcement restricted from cooperating with federal officials. And so you see in Minneapolis, obviously a crisis because of these policies and the failure of Tim Walz and Jacob Frey to allow local law enforcement to cooperate. And so the general public, many of, have been opposing President Trump's policies in Minneapolis. They're protesting, but they're engaging ICE and they're getting involved and interfering with ICE's ability to do its job in measure because you don't have local police allowing for and engaging in crowd control.
So how do we fix it?
This is the dynamic that we've been dealing with. And so obviously you had a terrible tragedy. 2 people are dead. That it was entirely preventable, in my opinion. And I think it was a positive step yesterday that the president spoke to the governor, that they're trying to de-escalate both in terms of rhetoric, calling ICE the Gestapo or calling citizens domestic terrorists doesn't help anybody. So bringing the temperature down rhetorically is important. Getting local law enforcement to cooperate with federal officials is critical, especially when it comes to crowd control. But the question is, how do we deal with this larger issue? For 40 years, we have had a broken immigration system. We have not had immigration reform since 1986. I will be 40 years old in September. My entire life, we have not had immigration reform. We all know this system is broken. And the fact is that doing nothing is not an answer. It's not a solution. The problems will persist. You're not going to be able to round up everybody and kick them out. So the question is, how do you actually deal with this? And I fundamentally believe the president has won the issue when it comes to border security and deporting criminal aliens. But if we actually work towards a bipartisan solution when it comes to immigrants who have been here 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whose children and grandchildren may be American citizens, they are participating in the workforce, they have not committed a crime, you have to provide a legal path forward to get them out of the shadows, not citizenship. I fundamentally don't believe they should be rewarded with that. But you should provide a legal path forward so they are out of the shadows and you can start to get this entire situation under control. It's not just about securing the border. It's not just about deporting criminal aliens.
You know, Congressman Lawler, one of the people we've had on the show, and she's talked about it, is Congresswoman Maria Salazar of Florida.
She has a bill in, Mike,
and
called the Dignity Act.
I'm a co-lead on this bill.
The Dignity Act.
We've been championing this for 3 years because we recognize there's got to be a legal path forward. And by the way, what does it say? It does not provide a path to citizenship. It says that you have to pay a fine, you have to pay back taxes, you cannot commit a crime, you cannot collect government benefits, and you must work. And that is to our benefit as a country when you embrace those who want to be here, who want to participate in our economy, who want to help America grow and prosper. The people who are committing crimes, we all agree, deport them. They're gone. And if you would agree to this, and you would agree to the terms of this, and you violate it, and you commit a crime, or you collect government benefits you shouldn't be entitled to, you're out. And I think most people would accept that and recognize that that's a positive step forward, and it would start to bring this system under control.
Yeah, Mike, and Fernando, real quick.
You're absolutely right. There's a lot of immigrants that have been here 20, 30 years, got here when they were 4 years old, 8 years old, out of their control, and they've never gotten in trouble in this country. Those are the immigrants that we need to create a path for legalizing their status. Everyone that came in, those 10 million plus people that came in during Biden, those are the ones that are in question. Those are the ones that came in here and have devastated our cities. And those are the ones we need to get after.
Venezuela opened up their jails, opened up their hospitals, and sent them all here.
That's why the bill says more than 5 years, because the people that Joe Biden allowed into the country, that's not who we're talking about.
And I'm glad that Republicans are introducing this.
Yeah.
Like Ronald Reagan in the 80s, amnesty for immigrants. All the Democrats took credit for that. We're not looking to give amnesty.
I know that. We're saying doing nothing is not a solution. You're not going to be able to round up and deport 25 million people. It's just not. It's not realistic. It's not honest, and it's just not solving the problem. The question is, how do you address a situation where you have people who have been here for a long time, who are actually contributing to the country economically, who are participating in our communities, whose children and grandchildren are American citizens? We don't want to break up families.
And by the way, Congressman, President Trump seems to be open to what you're talking about. You got to keep us posted, Congressman. This is really powerful, and I thought the op-ed was so powerful, and it's clearly something that President Trump is also thinking about too. So you got to come back on soon.
We will. And by the way, I think as part of any agreement here, you eliminate sanctuary cities.
Absolutely.
You end the sanctuary policies.
That's a great point.
And you actually move this forward. I think there is a bipartisan deal to be had on this.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Lawler.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.